Alright makeup geeks, I am going to show you guys today how to fill in your brows, and I've been trying to tape this video for 4 years now and something always happens with it, so cross your fingers, hopefully it turns out. But I just wanted to give you a few pointers today on how to fill in your brows to get them that nice defined shape, and there's several different ways to do that. There's a lot to explain, so make sure you check out the Makeup Geek site. I'll try to list everything and give a lot of tips and pointers on that. So anyways, pull out all of your brow products and let's get going on filling them in. So before I fill in this eyebrow, I know I look insanely crazy with one eyebrow done. I look like a circus freak right now, but I want to show you a few different products that you can do because there's tons of different ways you can fill in your eyebrows depending on how thin yours are. Okay, so as you can tell, my brow is still a little bit too dark. I found after taping this tutorial that Rimmel's eyebrow pencil in the color Hazel is perfect for people with dark hair and fair skin. Okay, back to the tutorial. As you guys can tell, my eyebrows are an absolute nightmare. Everyone who's ever touched my eyebrow, whether they wax them, dye them, whatever, anyone who's seen my eyebrows are like, oh, Marlena's eyebrows, because they're thin, but the hairs themselves are very thick and very dark, so they're very difficult to work with. So I have to do a couple things. If you have black eyebrows and fair skin like I do, you're most likely going to have to lighten your brows some, and this probably isn't the best way to do it, but that's what I do, is just use a little bit of facial bleach. I put a bit on there and leave it for about 5 minutes or so, just enough to kind of tone down the blackness of it. You have to be careful not to leave it on too long because it may lighten them too much and give you kind of blonde eyebrows. You don't want that. You just want to take off the edge off of them. If you have medium to dark skin, obviously you don't have to do that because you don't have so much contrast between your brows and your skin like I do. So anyways, I do that. That's an option. Now to fill them in, there's a few different products you can use. If you have very thin eyebrows, you want them to be very defined, fill in a lot of spare spots, I would use a pencil, and the one that I really like right now is the Too Faced Brownie one. I like this color. Which color is this? Brownie, I guess. I like it because it's not reddish at all. You want something that has a khaki underbase to it, and I learned this in school. They said if you have khaki, kind of a tint of green to your brow pencil or your brow products, it looks a bit more natural. You don't want anything that has red in it because it will look really fake, because hair naturally has a little bit of green undertone to it. That's what I was told. Start with the pencil because mine are very thin. You want to sharpen it really, really well. When you do your brows, you want the most darkness to be right here in the arch, so you want to define this first. And the shape of your eyebrows, go to get them waxed, tweezed, whatever, but try to leave them full. You want it to be thicker in here and then the thinnest out here, and you want there to be a natural arch about right here. So if you put a brush or a pencil against your nose and to the edge of your pupil, your arch should be somewhere out here. Mine naturally come in just a little bit more. I can't change the shape of that, but your goal is to have an arch out here. Okay, take your pencil, and I'm going to just line underneath. What gives really nice defined brows is to have a very crisp, clean line under here. Leave the top just a little bit more natural. So what I'm going to do, I'm actually going to start down here just because mine are kind of different, but I just start doing light strokes. And then when I get to this spot, I'm going to draw kind of a straight line there. Do you see how I'm getting that very defined? When I get out to the edge of my brow, I just want a very thin line because I want there to be a contrast between thick going to thin. So kind of define that. And then you can take your spoolie, the end of that brush, kind of comb them out. Okay, now do you see how it's darker out here, lighter in here? You want this area right here to be lighter or else it'll start closing in on your eyes. Now from here, hold on, let me fill this in just a little. Okay. From here you can take a angled brush like this and go in with a product that's a little bit lighter. I'm going to use MAC's Paint Pot in Quite Natural. Let me show you guys what it looks like. See how it's kind of a brownie color? It's not too dark. It's not like a tan color. If you have blonde eyebrows, you want something that's a little bit more khaki, a little bit lighter, not quite a brown. I'm going to start filling in up here. Start with the arch because you want that to be the fullest and the darkest. And you want to start defining that arch just a little bit. kind of hard to explain brows because everyone's brows are different. Pick up a little bit more. I'm going to start coming in just a little bit. You kind of want a straight line up here too. Okay, now you see when I come into this part right here, I want it to be a little bit lighter, so I'm not going to pick up too much more product on the brush here. I'm kind of stroking it like this. When you get to this inner part right here, you're going to take what's left on the brush, turn it sideways, and you're just going to feather it, so you just get a slight bit of color. For me, I have a little bald spot right there, so I gotta kind of fill it in, and then brush it through to kind of lighten it a bit. So light, dark at the arch, thin line right here. So once you get your brows filled in, now it's time to clean them up, and this is important for having that very crisp line on the bottom because that's what's going to give you a very defined shape. You want to use some sort of cake concealer, something that's a little bit thicker. This is the MAC Studio Finish Concealer, and use a really little brush like this, a flat one. We're just using this to kind of clean up the edges, so pick up some of that concealer. And all you're going to do is kind of trace a line under that brow just to clean it up a bit. And then blend this out. So one last step, and this is optional. If you have brow hairs that are just crazy and you need to tame them down like I sometimes do, you can use a brow gel. I use the Anastasia one in brown just to kind of keep them in control. But also a good product, I don't have it with me right now, is MAC's brow wax. You can just run it over your brows and it kind of keeps the hairs flat so they don't go every which way. So that's a couple options too. But go to makeupgeek.com, you guys. I'll put the link below. I want you to read some of that stuff because there's so many different options based off of what type of brows you have, how dark they are, all that good stuff, and I don't want to bore you just sitting here rambling about it the whole time. So I'll try to type that up for you guys, but definitely make sure you get your eyebrows waxed, threaded, plucked, or whatever, to where it's thicker, thinner, and then just filling them in. It's your option if you want to do pencil or like some sort of paint pot like that. So yeah, that's pretty much it, but I hope you guys are doing great, and as always, staying happy and healthy, and I will talk to you guys soon. Bye.